This one was an NAB3.
Hello, this is an intro sequence. Hello, yes. We're doing Soma got a soundboard and Robo has everybody's got a bloody soundboard. Alright.
Discord just gave me free Nitro, and of course someone else's another Discord group has got that soundboard on it.
Okay.
Hello there.
Yeah, thank you. So today's episodes are a piece of the action, the immunity syndrome, and a private little war. But I brought a new guest in, so I no longer have to describe them. Hang on.
Greetings, fellow space explorer. I'm Bella, your dedicated Starfleet fan. I've memorized more Star Trek episodes than Scotty has emergency beam-up excuses. If there's a parallel Earth or a time travel twist, count me in at warp speed. Live long and Punspur.
Did that work? Did everyone hear it?
I heard it on Discord.
Okay, good. Everyone on YouTube heard it, should have heard it. I think I need to alter my Discord settings.
Yeah, what is this, an AI?
Yes. So Bella is the name of the voice preset that is from 11 Labs, and then it's reading off ChatGPT, because of course it is. Okay, so now I can have it intro the episodes for me. So today we're going to be watching a piece of the action, the immunity syndrome, and a private little war. What are those episodes about?
Ah, a piece of the action, where the Prime Directive meets the Prime Gangster Directive. Classic Kirk negotiating with mobsters. It's like Shakespeare in The Final Frontier.
Some of the metaphors don't make sense, don't worry about it.
A real McCoy of an episode. The crew battles a space amoeba, boldly going where no antiviral has gone before. And a private little war, where Kirk faces a McCoy philosophy dilemma and the Klingons spice things up. It's a warp speed triple feature, and I'm ready for the photon popcorn.
I told it to make puns, or at least one pun per response. It made it weird. It's going a little over. I said one pun, but it's constant. I don't know, man. We're gonna make it work. So yeah, now if we have questions for the AI or we want it to like fill space, we can just ask it questions. How's the weather?
It's been decent today.
Cool. How's the Prime Minister?
Oh, he's a pile of garbage, but...
Okay, I don't know anything about him. I just know he's there.
He's one of the rich crooks.
Cool. Samesies with our politicians. So, you know, we have that in common. That's always nice. It's good to have similarities.
Every bit of it wasn't those ones, but yeah.
So, yeah, piece of the action. So we're gonna learn today about Fizbin. So that should be good. Everybody loves Fizbin. I think they canonized Fizbin as like an actual thing in Lower Decks. Like Kirk just makes it up to troll somebody, but then they're like, "Oh yeah, you guys want to go play around with Fizbin?" I don't remember exactly. I'm trying to think of what the rules are. The rules are, I think, Fizbin, and that's the extent of what you get. Oh, for the AI, I also have different voice presets. Bella's the one that's probably the most like actually fleshed out and best trained from 11 Labs. It sounds the most natural, but I have others. So we could have, hang on, I can swap it on the fly after the, well, we're approaching the countdown. Everybody queue up, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And I'll put the countdown on Discord. That's important. There we go.
Yep.
A piece of the action is a stellar mix of humor and classic Trek charm. Kirk and Spock in fedoras and Tommy guns? It's like the Enterprise landed in a gangster-themed holodeck. The Prime Directive takes a backseat to the Prime Entertainment. Talk about a phaser-tastic throwback.
A phaser-tastic throwback. That's probably a pun. That probably works. I mean, this... Oh. I was going to say, yeah, that's not very impressive of Starfleet. 100-year delay. That's some bureaucracy. But no, they just transmitted it at light speed. You can't do that. What's even the point?
You've got shuttles at this point, TOS. Just use the shuttle.
Yellow fire. Is that a... So I assume a lot of this is going to be references to... Wait, what year is this? Is this the 20s? Gangsterland? In any case, whatever it is, I get the feeling I'm not going to pick up a lot of the slang. Maybe ChatGPT knows the slang. We can ask it if something doesn't make sense. No, there's definitely contamination. Kirk, they know that you're a spaceship and they're pre-warp. There's automatically contamination. Did they say that the previous ship crashed? Is that what happened? Well, I don't need to ask. I can just ask the AI. Hey, ChatGPT or Bella, if you prefer, what's the premise of a piece of the action? Why did they have to go down to the planet in the first place? What happened to the horizon?
It's Bella, not Chad, but no worries. In a piece of the action, the
No, not
Enterprise
Chad,
visits
ChatGPT.
Sigma
All right.
Iosha 2 to observe a previous starship's cultural impact. However, they find the planet mimicking Earth's 1920s gangster era due to a book
1920s,
left
okay.
behind. The horizon issue? It
Now, we've
turns
definitely
out the
seen this exact
horizon,
same set
the
before.
previous ship, accidentally interfered with the planet's development by leaving that darn cultural guidebook. It's like they set the Prime Directive to Roaring 20s mode.
No, Bella, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Look, she's trying. Leave her alone. So yeah, this is
Yes, Tommy guns.
the same set we always use. Could you stop speaking in metaphors? Just talk plain like. It's like these people are being run by ChatGPT. They never just speak plain. Unfortunately, the AI didn't really explain to me why the horizon was down here on the first place. Does anyone know? Why did the horizon land here? Did it crash? Also, wait, we've seen the horizon. The horizon is the ECS horizon. That was one of the freighters in Enterprise. And I mean, it was 100 years before this episode, so that's the same horizon, right? Is that the one Travis is from, or is that the one just they visited? So there were two freighters. ECS Horizon was a J-class freighter under the command of Paul Mayweather. Okay, so that's the one that Travis came from. And it also looks very Cardassian. It's probably not. Ahida, huh? God, frick. Is that a reference to phasers, or is that just a 1920s term in general? I don't know. How did the 1920s work?
It's just the writer of the episode.
I
This
like the
seems to be written
poster.
by someone who's watched gangster movies in the other room. So they're sat in a different room watching and hearing the gangster movie in the background.
They're trying their best, maybe. They're trying at least a little bit. I like the big posters of the dude with a gun. This is no way to run a society. How are you supposed to work like this? Oh man, Captain Picard though will love it here. He loves this era. Are those two buildings, that stairway? Isn't that from the riot in San Francisco? Like a bunch of people were sat outside there and Cisco and Bashir were there looking for shelter. How long have they had this set? Those episodes are 30 years apart.
It's the standard Paramount set, so or CBS set this time.
Is it normal for everybody in the 1920s to just have several guns strapped to them?
Gangsters, maybe.
Well, in the roaring 20s on Earth, it was more flapper dresses and jazz, but on Sigma Iosha 2, they took the Second Amendment to a whole new galaxy. Everyone's packing heat like it's a phaser fashion statement. It's like the Wild West with a sci-fi twist.
Hey, you don't have to yell at me. So no, that was not normal in the 20s, I guess. I am looking forward to seeing Kirk and Spock in a fedora. The AI said there's a fedora involved. Whenever we get these primitive aliens, they're like, oh yes, I'm the king of this world. You can't do anything to me. It reminds me of Knights of the Old Republic, where you meet the builders at the end, and they talk themselves up to like big as like, oh yeah, our infinite empire. We control like so many islands on this planet. We're bigger than your republic. You wouldn't even know. We have so many islands. It's like, no, that's not an empire. You want a torpedo? Because we could like take out Krakow real fast.
Use gun on man, or rather on building.
It's their Bible. Chicago mobs of the 20s. Okay, so if the AI didn't know, that would tell us. So this is a book from Gene Roddenberry's perspective from the future. Wait, that's their whole society? This whole species just mimics people? That's their whole thing?
Apparently.
These people would be infuriating to hang out with. They're even doing the accents. Oh, speaking of accents, this is unrelated to Star Trek, but I was playing a little Skyrim this weekend. Um, and if I hear one more guard say, God, what's the line? I heard they are forming the Dawn Guard. I'm going to snap. I know they're reforming the Dawn Guard. You don't have to keep saying it, Oleg. Also, how come in Skyrim it's only some of the Nords have those thick accents? Like all the women are just American, but a lot of the dudes are like thick Swedish accents. What's the deal with that? Yeah, he's the boss. He has the majority of this one city on this one planet. He's so important, you don't even know Kirk.
I think in 2 they should only be located by the communicators.
I mean, even in
At
TNG,
least that's
right?
how it's
Because
been implied a lot.
even in TNG, people say like, "Oh, there's the person is located in Jeffrey's Tube 2," and they go in there and it's just a communicator. It's like, well, now what?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a pretty good heater, boss. I don't know how to do this accent. It works very well, thanks for asking. Yeah, no, just flip it open. It'll work fine. You can just flip it. Trust me. It makes a really cool noise. You get the tactile feel of the flip. It'll be fine. Do you think they should have a tactical team that could just beam down and rescue the crew? Because they've gotten kidnapped now, and this seems to happen a lot.
Oh, for sure. They should have a Beam Team 6 on standby, ready to whisk the crew away
Beam
when
Team
things go
6.
south. I mean, how many times can you say we come in peace before realizing you need a speedy exit strategy? Beam me up, Scotty, before the Prime Directive becomes the Prime Dilemma.
Okay, well, the AI agrees with me. They should totally have Makos. Lieutenant Reed. Lieutenant Reed is the Worf of Enterprise. He's always right, but nobody ever listens to him. Okay, so now we know the crew's kidnapped, so we just start beaming people up, right? Like, I know they don't have their communicators, but, like, you can scan for humans, right? Or Vulcans. We can just find them. Beam down a team.
I think Gene Roddenberry just implied that, well, it's true, it's been used as the blueprint of society in America, but that the Bible's been used as the blueprint of society in America, and that's a bad thing. Which was, well, it's bold today, and it was bold in the 60s as well.
How dare they blaspheme in my Star Trek? I do enjoy that America was founded because the original people were too religious extremists for the British. They got kicked out, they got exiled from England for being too fundamentalist. Then I think they went to
Yeah.
Spain and got kicked out of there too. I'm like, screw this, we're going to make our own country. Oh, I know how to find out how to play Fizbin. I can ask the AI. Bella, how do you play Fizbin?
Fizbin, my favorite card game of illogical delights. The rules? Well, they're as complex as trying to decipher Spock's emotions. You need a deck with cards from 1 to 6, shout Fizbin, and hope the dealer buys your bluff. It's like poker in a parallel universe, pure Kirk-style chaos.
Bella, that doesn't explain anything. You just there's a deck from 1 to 6 and you shout Fizbin. And sometimes it may or may not be a bluff. What are you talking about? Do they have Tuesdays? Well, I assume Tuesdays are probably mentioned in their Gangster Bible. They just play the same scene again in TNG, but with the computer system. And a deuce, for example? And now he's getting it. He's figuring it out. This is a very intelligent culture.
That's quite true, Spot, for obvious reasons.
Yes. A Krong? Huh, Krong? The best character.
I don't quite get what Kurt's play is here.
Just distract them and have a good time.
Yeah.
He's just trolling.
Literally just distracting them, so just want to do that.
Oh, it's a warp speed
Oh, I forgot to
competition,
press
but
my push to
McCoy
talk.
takes
I
the
asked who the
trolling
biggest troll is.
crown. His banter with Spock is like a Vulcan mind meld with a punchline. McCoy's bedside manner? More like bedside mischief. He's the prankster with a PhD.
So to talk to the AI, I don't have a push to talk there, but I have to push to talk to you people. So I might get that mixed up sometimes. Don't worry about it. Oh, are we back in the mission from Edith Keeler? I do appreciate that now
Good thing
Spock has a gun.
Yep. Good thing their biology is the same as humans, right?
Yeah, they don't worry about it. It's just Earth. It's just a time travel episode. Yep, this is very America. The makers of the Bang Bang, the sweetest little automatic in the world. Yes, that's how American radio works, for sure. Okay, yes, thank you, Spock. Just leave. Just leave. Or is this the building system?
Taken by the other boss.
Yeah, it's Krakow.
Not a great shot there, are you?
Well, he's a really good shot with a heater. Just not so good with a dot. I mean, it's not incorrect. He is a Fed. He's Graco. He controls the whole Southside territory. There's nothing he don't know. Oh god, they even both have the woman sitting on their desks. What is with these people?
Gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
Heaters? Sorry, he does. Just give him a torpedo and leave. Just leave. Bella? Wait, Bella? Bella. This
Bella's
character,
the
John
first name
Krakow,
of
just
this.
said he knows you.
John Krakow, you say? That's stranger than a Romulan riddle.
No, not
Maybe
John
he's
Krakow.
confusing me with a
God.
parallel universe Bella, or there's some temporal hiccup. Either way, if he's a friend of the Enterprise, he's a friend of mine. Live long and mingle, I guess.
Okay, the AI is on this guy's side. What, sleep with the fishes? We're gonna give him cement shoes? I think you're stupid, yes. I think Kirk also thinks you're stupid. Is this the same era that Vic Fontaine is from? Is he a 20s hologram? He's 20s, right? Yes, Greco, I believe that you should be in control of this planet. Let me just beam up to my ship to make the order. I'll beam back down with the heaters. What are our solutions here? We could, one, scan for human life signs and just beam Kirk up. Two, we could use the ship's phasers on stun to just stun the city and go find him.
They do that later on in TOS, don't they?
They already
Just stun the
stunned
entire
one
place.
city.
Kill the whole city with phasers.
Yeah, that was going to be
Vaporize
option
the
3.
city.
Just sterilize the problem and leave. There's no contamination if there's nobody alive.
You have to do it for the Prime Directive. It's not genocide, it's correcting a mistake.
Wait, why are the consoles so dusty? Look at that one behind Spock. What's up with... Someone wiped it off a little bit? Are you sure about that, Spock? I feel like scanning for human life signs is a rational way out of this. We could just leave. Yeah, Optimus, could you... There you go. Thank you. Just speak plainly. Look, he kidnapped you one time. Come on. A deal's a deal. He wouldn't back down on a deal. Just bring him the heaters. Give him some torpedoes, let him control the planet, and you can go. Come on. This has got to be the same era Vic Fontaine's from, because they're saying Pally, and he says Pally. It's got to be.
I believe it's implied that.
No, we're not going to trust him. We're going to beam down with a heavily armed landing party. McCoy. Making a
We got ourselves a
tripwire?
regular MacGyver here.
What guy?
A regular MacGyver.
Ah.
Which is funny because MacGyver would come on air like 20 years after this.
Get the gun. Gun. Don't kick him, get the gun.
Twain's the guitar twang sounds from it.
Okay, he got the gun. Okay, thank God. Yeah, I don't think you need to beam down. I think Kirk's got this, actually. I think he's fine. Oh, they actually are threatening to phaser the city. Not as much of a landing party as I'd hoped. I would hope for a couple security officers too, but alright. Oxmix, come on, man. What is the point of you? This is not how you make friends or allies. He gets a maximum of 2 heaters. Bella, what do you think about Spock's decision to beam down to Oxmix's office with McCoy?
Should add a few more security personnel, just in
Spock
case.
beaming down with McCoy? Now that's a duo more mismatched than red shirts and away missions. But hey, it's Spock, always ready to bring logic to the illogical. It's like sending a tricorder to a gunfight. But with those two, you never know what kind of cosmic chemistry will unfold.
I feel like you sort of misunderstood the question there, ChatGPT. There we go. See, Kirk's... he's fine. It's pretty easy in this society. Everyone seems kind of not all there. That line I appreciate, though. That one Vulcan finally realizes that they're dealing with illogical people. But it's always like, oh, the kidnappers stole our crew. They're threatening to kill them. No, well, that would be illogical. They would never kill them. They're hostages. It's like, no, you don't. Oh God, now Kirk's getting into it. He's having a great time. Very convenient that they fit. Oh, now the obligatory time travel scene where they have to figure out how to drive a car. Who left the key in the ignition? Actually, wait, did Kirk drive classic cars in this universe? Because I know he did in the Kelvin timeline. He stole his stepdad's car. No, I guess it's new to him. But he's... okay. They're trying, for sure. Do you still want one, Kirk? Wait, how did they even build these? How... I mean, I assume there were pictures of them in the Gangster Bible, but like there weren't blueprints, right?
Hmm.
Maybe it's best not to think of the logistics of how this all works. No, there's already plenty of contamination. Just stun them. Everybody knows you're from space already.
I always, from the entirety of my time as a kid, I'm always just fascinated by the discussion of the Vulcan ears. Because, like, my ears as a kid were almost as pointy as Spock's. So it's very much possible for human beings to have ears that pointed. It's not that weird.
Do you still have pointed Vulcan ears? A piece of the action. Title drop. Wow. Writing. Do you agree with to Paul's sentiment? Because they talk about like, oh, what is the human's obsession with our ears? And to Paul's conclusion is that humans are envious. Are we envious of their Vulcan ears? Very convincing, child. Yes, well done. Shoot the child. It's a trick. Kill him. All right, well done, child. Very distracting. What are we gonna cut him in? 20%? I mean, that wasn't much action. The kid didn't even get to stab anybody. What kind of deal was this? Come on. At least give him a handgun or something. Spock, just shoot him. Just shoot him. Bella, do you think it would work if Captain Kirk just shot Krakow with his phaser?
Ah, the classic Kirk move solving problems with a phaser or a razor, depending on the
Or a
day.
razor? What are you
But
talking about?
Krakow might be more resilient than a tribble at a breeding party. Knowing Kirk, he'd probably try diplomacy first, then resort to the razor if things get hairy. It's a close shave between peace and a close encounter of the red shirt kind.
What are you talking about? What does that mean?
Oh, I think I remember what's going to happen next.
Is he gonna, like, disintegrate himself?
He's going to stun himself, yeah.
They just look like a barbershop quartet to me with those hats. Krakow, you can't just let them... God. Absolutely terrible. This is why he only controls most of the south side of one city. Well, actually, about that non interference thing. I mean, as Captain Freeman points out, she gets very frustrated that Starfleet has a policy of some interference. They interfere just enough to screw everyone over and then they leave. Captain Kirk's 20s era gangster acting is certainly interesting. It's an interesting choice by Bill Shatner, for sure. The Canadian.
Oh, Shatner's gangster act is a masterpiece, huh? It's like he threw in a dash of Canadian charm into the 1920s mix. Kirk in a fedora, more Canadian bacon than a Montreal bagel.
What does
It's
that mean?
boldly going
What
where
does that
no
mean?
Mountie has gone before.
Just beam up and leave. Just leave. Why are we even doing a trick? Just leave. Oh, we beaming him up. Okay, gotcha. I
Yeah.
still don't know why we're bothering when we can just leave. No, Scotty, come on. You've got to do the accent too. So the word is just to beam them up and leave, right? Come on. I don't understand. Bella, why do they beam up Krakow to the Enterprise instead of just beaming themselves up and leaving the planet?
Well, that's a prime directive, puzzler. Beaming up Krakow instead of making a swift exit is like playing chess with tribbles, not the most logical move. Maybe they wanted to ensure a smooth transition for Sigma Iotia 2, or perhaps it's just the classic Trek dilemma. Stay and sort things out or warp away to the next adventure. It's the space tango of decision making.
Bella, maybe you should lay off the metaphors. I'm not sure they're working for you. They're not your strong suit. What? What does that mean? What's a galosh? Galoshes are a type of overshoe or rubber boot that is slipped over shoes to keep them from getting muddy or wet during inclement weather. So boots. I don't mind flying, but what you're doing is suicide.
Nobody took the guns from the car that have been sat there for 10 minutes.
I mean, in this society, what would even be the point? There's guns everywhere. Everybody already has a
True.
million of them. Pretty sure even the kids are armed. Oh, the quartet's back. Well, no, you have seen something like it. Like 10 seconds before it was snatched. Remember, they beamed in? They had phasers? Remember that part?
No, they drove over here.
Did I hear my name?
No, but hi.
Hi.
Oh, are they gonna beam Oxmix up to the Enterprise and like make them sit down and talk? What does he mean, a penny ante operator? Spocko? Why are you talking? How does Kirk even know all this slang? Did he read the book? So basically that. We're not beaming them up to the ship, we're just beaming them up to Oxmix's office. Oh yeah, that's a good point. All this slang was probably in the script. That's where Captain Kirk learned it. Alright, next boss. Keep going. I'm glad to see that Oxmix is now having a good time beaming up all the other bosses. He's having a good time.
Oxmix is really enjoying the beam up party. It's like he's doing the transporter tango with the bosses. Who knew interstellar abductions could be this jazzy? Oxmix is the real star of the show, making beaming up bad guys look like a Romulan rhapsody.
That metaphor
Is
probably
the
makes sense. It's fine.
is the AI reading the YouTube chat now?
No, it is not.
Who said that? Who said that in the robotic voice?
Robotic voice, how dare you? That was very natural sounding.
Okay.
That is Chat GPT talking.
Mm. Well, I'm here now, so I could fill up the airwaves as good as ChatGPT.
Bella, we just got a new person in watching the episode with us, ear review. Can you introduce yourself to them?
Hi, ChatGPT. I am
Greetings, fellow cosmic voyager. I'm Bella, your resident Star Trek enthusiast. Think of me as your virtual tour guide through the final frontier. Prepare for puns, parallel universes, and photon torpedoes of fun. Welcome aboard, and may your warp drive be ever efficient.
Yes, an efficient warp drive. Everybody loves an efficient warp drive.
Thanks. Do you want a piece of the action? Cosmic
By the
Traveler?
way, it can only respond to my questions. But if you
Oh,
want
okay.
me to ask it something, I can ask it.
Yes. Would you ask the Landrew if it wants a piece of the action?
What does that mean?
It's the title of the episode. Um, what
Oh,
I
is
really
this the
love
part?
about
Can we face in the city now? Scotty face in the city.
yeah, yeah. Hey, welcome, Varn.
Krakow, come on. There's a starship in orbit. It can destroy your whole planet. Wow, he controls so many islands. He's such a big, important, strong man. Corey.
Did the Oracle say anything, Ryan?
All right, hang on. Bella, Airview wants to know if you want to be cut in for a piece of the action for this episode, even though you've been here for longer, but don't worry about that.
Ah, Bella Airview. Sounds like an invitation to join
Nope,
the
that's not what I
1920s shenanigans. I'm ready to be cut in for a piece of the action, even if it's just a virtual heist of intergalactic entertainment. Let's make this Star Trek soiree a real warp speed caper.
So I'm impressed by two things. One, that I knew how to pronounce soiree, but two, within the show, that the writers remembered that the ship has phasers that can be used against a planet. Like, they used it once in the Landrew episode, but honestly, I thought they forgot about it after that.
So this and the next episode is the last two, right? Of season 2 of TOS?
No, there's more.
Okay.
I think there's like a whole nother season.
No, I was saying season 2.
Oh.
Let me just go and look. Season 2, we have... This is episode 17 out of 26.
I would just say I think the writing really hit its stride. I think but and by the way, the prime directive also figures in here. I don't know if you guys already mentioned that.
Does it? Because, I mean, this is a
'Cause-
lot of contamination going on.
Yeah, he like knows that the ship's above in like orbit, kind of.
Yeah, because
But they
like
break the
They
frame.
just phasered a city.
20 years ago, the Daedalus left the book on their planet, which was the accidental contamination. And they realized that only when the guy's like, that's the book.
And so they figured,
So
damage is
just
already done.
completely
Screw it.
interfered at the end. Yeah, they just completely interfered to make the situation quote unquote better.
Remember, they wanted heaters the whole episode so that they could get the phasers to, get a piece of the action. And by the way, so there's a kid, there's like a really cute, like 10-year-old kid who gives Kirk the phrase that, "Oh, I want a piece of the action," and that's what prompts Kirk to like solve the episode.
Oh, yeah, this is a lot of interference.
So they're gonna
They're
take
forcing the
This is
society
just
to
our-
invest 60% of their revenue into education.
Yeah, they're gonna take the criminal proceeds from the criminal syndicates and re-put it into the benefit of the planet. Why don't we just tax the mafia? That would solve everything, right? A little extortion, a little blackmail, a little murder.
And they're sort of doing this out of fear because Kirk, glassed like a city block.
Yeah, bada beesh, bada boom.
Is he not
Only
merciful?
classy,
Capiche?
And this
point.
episode's about like how difficult Italians are to deal with.
In the 20s.
But these are Americans.
Well, it's a melting pot, so.
Chicago Mobs of the 20s. And that was a fictional book too. Great line.
Yep, they're well, apparently they honestly might be able to invent a starship because apparently they were able to invent all this stuff from the 60s or from the 20s
Description.
with absolutely no problem whatsoever. They had no blueprints. They just saw a picture and like, no, we get it.
Yeah. And flintlock rifle.
They're very intelligent people. They're just infuriating to deal with.
There was no government.
So the next episode, everyone queue up, episode 18, is the immunity syndrome.
But you know what I gotta say? Like when I was a kid, this episode always sparked my imagination. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of Bread and Circuses, which was another like literal Earth planet, except with the Roman Empire. We did that a few times in TOS.
What's like the worst episode in season?
There's no such thing as a bad.
No, there's definitely such a thing as bad Star Trek episodes. 100%. I don't know, let's ask the AI. Hang on. Bella, what is your least favorite Star Trek original series episode?
Oh, that's tougher than navigating a Borg cube blindfolded. If I had to pick, it would be Spock's brain. I mean, beaming
What?
brains in and
What?
out.
No.
Wait,
It's like a
everyone press
sci-fi
play
soap opera.
now.
Even the Vulcan nerve pinch can't rescue that one.
You know what?
So the
That's-
instructions
Oh,
I gave
wow.
the AI was that it absolutely loves TOS and has memorized every episode.
Okay. Good answer, because there was a lot worse answers you could give. But the thing is that I watched that episode last night, and it kind of understands the
Why?
human body as like a mechanical. It helps me go to sleep. Especially without the updated special effects. So it understands the human body basically as like a electrical wiring. You just plug in the elbow to the elbow socket.
Oh god, is this
It
Spock's
ex-
brain again? Spock, what are you doing? Leonard, what is this acting?
No, I thought Spock's brain, they just like go in and they're just like guns blazing and they're just like, I want my friend's brain back.
No, they get
They have to
kidnapped
track it down.
by cavemen with spears. And then they
Oh,
get
his
like a
family then.
magic torture belt put on them.
Yeah, there's one scene in there where they like freeze again and he's just not wearing the belt. They just did a take without him wearing the belt for some reason.
Okay. At the same time, Spock is incapable of surviving without his brain because his Vulcan physiology is so dependent on his higher brain functions, but at the same time, his Vulcan physiology is really strong, so he can survive longer than expected without his brain. Anyway, this episode. So this episode is basically the same one as in TNG with Leah Brahms, where they soured the milk. Except this solution is a lot more aggressive.
The
Kurt
child.
just said there must be another starship in that sector. So there are definitely other ships moving around doing things.
It cannot be. Bella, can you give me a brief summary of the immunity syndrome? We're watching that episode now.
The immunity syndrome is a cosmic roller coaster. The Enterprise encounters a giant space amoeba that's snacking on entire star systems.
Entire
Spock
star
does some
systems.
mind melding with the blob, and McCoy is prescribing metaphorical chicken soup for the ship. It's a battle of the immune system versus the ultimate alien cold, boldly sneezing where no one has sneezed before.
So it's also like season 3 of Discovery, because that species was so huge they were just mining entire solar systems for borium.
Except that time it was Cthulhu, whereas this time it's just a blob.
Yeah.
The Cthulhu aliens were cool though.
Oh, is this the one where
Yeah.
it's like a shag rug thing?
It looks
I
a
don't know.
little
I
bit
like
like
this
the
one.
Doomsday. The Doomsday one, I think. But yeah, I think it is like a protozoa or something.
If you look in the general chat on Discord, there's a picture of the amoeba in the thumbnail I posted.
Yeah. Plus, we didn't have special effects in the 60s, so I like watching the original ones. Well, I mean, we had very limited special
What did it
effects.
look like in the original
No,
cut?
we had tons of. Sorry,
Sorry.
no. Visual effects is the combination of visual and digital, visual and practical effects. I think
I stand
there's three
corrected.
terms. One of them is a combination. Visual effects is across the digital stuff, and then one of them is the practical stuff. But I've forgotten the name, which one is which, and the other two. I think
I stand
special effects is
corrected.
a combination.
I stand corrected. I mean, even a ship suspended on a wire is like special effects, you know.
But
Crazy
yeah,
Vulcan
visual effects weren't
ratings.
a thing in the 1960s.
I meant CGI.
Yeah. That wasn't a thing in the 1960s.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
What do you
In fact,
mean? They put orange rectangles on top of the film. That counts, right?
I mean, yeah, that
The
was a digital
phasers.
process. That was the digital process, so you're correct, Ryan.
It was just garbage
Look, I
by
gotta tell you,
modern
it was.
standards.
I remember when we had a camcorder in the 90s, and like when it went into night shot mode or sepia or the transitions, we thought it was the coolest thing. Like you paid an extra $100 for on your camera for that camcorder. Excuse me.
Or the fake thermal.
Yeah,
Imaging,
yeah.
Do we have Varn from the Ernest movie series? Is that the same Varn?
No, my other account I deleted, so I just added an R. It used to be Van, but then I just changed it to
Spock says this
Varn.
was his history is considerably more bloody.
Vulcan, you mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
In Enterprise, we learned that it was way worse than the humans, which is why they are so fearful of them.
Yeah.
But it took the
Until,
Vulcans like 1,000 years to rebuild because they're so much worse than humans. We're so much better than them. We got our stuff together in like 60 years.
Yeah, you notice that about sci-fi, that they always say that humans' ability to bounce back from these things is way faster than other species.
So I looked it up, and people say that the worst episode of season 2 is the episode Cat's Paw.
Oh,
Yeah, I
come
can see that one.
on.
Spock's
I
Brain is
forget what that
season
one is.
3,
Cat's
episode
Paw
1,
is
by
the
the way.
Halloween one with the two
So when we-
wizards, and one of the wizards turns into a cat.
Yeah.
and at the end of the episode, it's revealed that they're Muppets.
They're also like little birdie Muppets.
I think that like Halloween episodes are always sort of like hated amongst like Star Trek episodes. Are always
Well,
like
Cat's
the weirdest.
Paw
and
was really
stupidest.
good in the same way that the Space Ghost episode was really good.
You know, and I gotta say, it was very clever using the lighting to make the cat look like it was 9 feet tall instead
It
of
didn't
like
work. It didn't look 9 feet tall.
a little pussy cat.
It just
Speaking
looked
of like
like a
Space
cat.
Ghost and like Dave Willis like productions like or whatever, like I feel like TOS is like the closest to like Aqua Teen
I
Hunger
thought everyone
Force.
was dead on Gamma 7A, so why do we? Why is it? I don't quite get what's going on right now.
What was the name of the
Okay,
planet?
so
Gamma 7A, I think.
it's like
Bella,
Star Trek:
what's
The
the
Motion
situation
Picture.
on Gamma 7, the planet from the Immunity Syndrome? Okay, that's awful. I hate
Gamma
this.
7, oh, it's like a celestial sickbay. The entire planet has been wiped out by that colossal space amoeba. It's the ultimate cosmic quarantine. It's more devastating than a Klingon karaoke night.
Hang
Gamma
on, we've
7,
seen that now.
where the only thing spreading faster than the space plague is Spock's raised eyebrow.
I think Klingons have cool like little operas. What do you mean?
No, we saw Klingon K-pop in the musical episode.
I like the big fat Klingon that's in Quark's bar. That just
The
like
one
sings.
who runs the Gach restaurant.
Yeah. The one that just like sings opera and he's like really fat.
He's having a
Yeah, I
good
like
time.
Klingon singing too, but you have to watch the latest Strange New World to get that reference about K-pop.
Ooh, and we got one of our famous Star Trek balloon metaphors. Star Trek loves balloon metaphors.
So in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, there's like this giant space probe that's like gonna destroy Earth, getting closer and closer. I feel like they're kind of relaying on that too, because we don't even know how to deal with it at first.
I
Like,
know
what
how to deal
language
with
do you-
it. Torpedo.
Phasers? Okay.
Yeah, they could have just done that.
You're incapable of that level of incompetence, Mr. Spock.
This is a good line.
Oh yeah, it's the hole in space because in TNG they later come across another hole in space, and I think it's Data that says like, no, there is no record of any starship encountering anything remotely like this.
How many times do they discover like basically like God and like NG and shit?
Are we
It's like
counting
really weird.
Q in the different iterations of Q?
Well, not Q, but there's like this one where they just get transported to like the center of the universe, and then there's just like this
The
big
Scythians,
holog. Yeah, yeah. Those guys.
Scytherians,
We
yeah.
like learn nothing about them really. It's just like yeah, they gave us our technology and
Well, the runtime
they're
was
nice
over. It was
guys.
42 minutes in. What do you want?
Yeah. They're good guys, and we're heading back home. They sent us home.
Barkley knows how to fold space now.
Well, no. He forgot.
Yeah.
He forgot everything. Bella, tell me about the Scytherians from TNG.
The Takan Empire, a deep
No, not the
space dive into
Takan
Star Trek,
Empire.
the Next Generation lore.
Wait,
The
what do you
Takan
know
were a
that I
highly
don't?
advanced and ancient species that once ruled a vast empire. Unfortunately, they went the way of the dodo, and all that's left are the scattered remnants of their once mighty technology. It's like finding an ancient iPhone in the ruins of a forgotten civilization, a real archaeological activity.
What are you talking about? That has nothing to do with the Scytherians.
Yeah, but they were alive though, and they like teleported.
Yeah,
Picard.
but it's a TOS fan bot. It's not a TNG fan bot.
I think Herc should probably have loaded most of the crew into shuttles and dropped them off the ship before doing this.
Yeah. I think they.
Okay, I really hate the
Or
sound
send
effect.
the
This is...
shuttlecraft into it.
Bella, how many godlike entities are there in Star Trek?
In TOS season 1, we've run into them a lot more.
Oh, we've
Actually,
got more
the
godlike beings in Star Trek than there are stars in the Milky
Trelane,
Way.
Yeah,
From
the
Q, who's practically
Orthogonians
a
who
celestial
encounter
trickster,
us with
to the
the Gorn.
mysterious and powerful Dowd, and even the prophets in the Bajoran wormhole, it's a pantheon of powerful
Oh yeah, the
entities.
Dowd.
It's like the
They're kind
gods
of
of Olympus
godlike.
decided to have a cosmic cocktail party in the final frontier.
The Dowd, the prophets, the Shakari god.
The at
There's
the center of
more.
the galaxy. Yeah.
I know there's more.
Yeah, but like the
Like I said, so the
but-
Orthogonians and Trelane,
Yeah,
they
Trelane.
were observing humanity. It kind of reminds me when Q introduced us to the Borg. The Orthogonians were doing the same thing with the Gorn. Like, go ahead and encounter your enemy and think your way out of it instead of fighting your way out.
Bella, what does God need with a starship?
I was impressed Bella got the reference
the eternal
to
question
Piece of
from
the
Star
Action.
Trek V, The Final Frontier. What does God need with a starship indeed?
Ah,
Maybe a little
I know
celestial
that reference.
joyride? It's like asking why tribbles need more space. The mysteries of the cosmos, my friend.
You just told me not to worry about it, basically. Thanks, Bella.
Yeah, thanks, Bella.
Okay. So I've been
So,
distracted as
which
to what's actually happening in this episode. So there's an amoeba. They were gonna go run into it and shoot it. Nothing really happened. And now everybody's being drugged. There's an
inoculated?
illness spreading.
Right.
Nurse, get over here and take care of this.
Well, it started with Spock. What if we shot Spock?
Mr. Spock.
Oh yeah, the founders are gods. Of course, the founders. Spock, stop saying unknown. That's so unhelpful.
You're half human, we get it.
Yeah, if we're still talking about godlike beings and, this episode, angry floating baby head man from TNG. What was he called? Nigilum.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they literally just meet Zeus.
And we hang out with Apollo for a bit. He wasn't very nice. But that's sort of a running theme with Greek gods. The ancient gods were just very angry. I do like the Klingon gods, though, and how the Klingon warriors just slew them. They were more trouble than they were worth.
Well, they did like recreate one of the Klingon gods through cloning. Whatever his name is.
Kahless.
Kartheth. Karthreth
Kahless.
or whatever. Yeah, Kahless, yeah.
Also known as Kahless. Also known as Kaleth. You know, just depending on who the director is on set and if they know how it's pronounced.
Or if they'd like even care. Like, whatever. Just
Kind of
call him
it's
whatever.
like, what is that orb in space? No, that's the nacelle. That's fine. It's supposed to be there. I thought it was like a moon or an exit or something.
Do they even go in the nacelles? All the other ones, they go in the nacelles, and they're always looking around in there.
I don't know if we see the catwalks. I don't know. Well, you see, Kirk, when the ship tries to move backwards, everything within the ship experiences that as a forward momentum.
Those stairs bother me so much.
Don't worry about it.
They're so narrow. They're not even like.
The NX-01 has
Whatever.
the same stairs. It's Starfleet tradition. So it's this region of space is just opposite world.
Yeah.
Like that the episode of TNG,
Yeah.
not parallels.
String theory.
The one with Captain Picard
Eyes.
from the future. What's it called?
Yeah.
It's like season 2. Whatever. The episode where everything is all reversed and topsy-turvy.
Allegiance?
Forward goes backward, backwards go forward. To power something up, you need to apply negative power.
Drawing a blank on that one. Forget.
There's also the string theory one, which is like we have to rescue the two-dimensional life form.
You have to walk backwards to walk forward.
And the question is, does everyone on the ship count as a away team member for this mission because they've all gone away on the ship into the anomaly?
Sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Does everyone on the ship count as an away team member because everyone has gone essentially on an away mission into the anomaly?
No, they don't count. If we started counting people on the ship, we would be up to the hundreds. Bella, how does this episode, The Immunity Syndrome, relate to the TNG episode Time Squared? Particularly with everything sort of being reversed when they try to apply thrust.
Ah, the gravitational shenanigans. In the Immunity Syndrome, the Enterprise encounters a space amoeba, and when they try to apply thrust to escape its gravitational pull, things get topsy-turvy. Now in Time Squared from TNG, there's a similar twist with the Enterprise D encountering a time anomaly. The gravitational weirdness keeps the crew scratching their heads. It's like a cosmic game of musical chairs, where the laws of physics just want to dance.
Okay, so what's happening here is the laws of physics are dancing.
Yep, that's what I picked up from that.
They're playing musical chairs, which means that, like, the mathematical formulas that govern each law of physics are sort of swapping around. Probably makes sense. That doesn't seem very logical, Spock. That seems like a pretty easy thing to conceive. Oh, like Strange New Worlds. Everything relates to a future series. In Strange New Worlds, Captain Pike and La'an have a talk about that. Nobody expects to die. The last thing they feel is surprise. How's he supposed to know? You're in a space void with an amoeba. I'm not sure how these two plot lines relate to each other. There's the illness, and there's the dark zone, and there's the amoeba. And I don't see how those are related. So are they like inside the amoeba now? How is the amoeba, which is a single cell organism outside the ship, infecting everybody inside the ship?
It's like an AoE type thing. Using the B take and not the cleaned up version.
I would be willing to bet this is going to have the same solution as TNG times squared, where what they actually have to do is just let themselves fly into it. I bet these are the same episode. Wait, the amoeba is... So they're not inside the amoeba. The amoeba exists in a space void where it feeds on... What? Spaceships? Have we tried a torpedo? Did it just embed itself in the amoeba? An 11,000-mile amoeba. That's impressive if nothing else. Injured? Living. We can fix that. We can make it not living. I'm telling you, a torpedo. Is that an... It kind of looks like an embryo thing. Like it's gonna split and make another amoeba. Is this amoeba pregnant? The sort of circular swirl thing in the middle. Ooh, someone got a microscope slide. Nice.
He could have just not remembered. I mean, Riker never remembered anything. He would just go like, yeah. Yeah.
It can eat being the most operative thing here, Doctor. Because it seems to be trying to eat you. I assume the Intrepid was a Constitution class. Is the amoeba a weapon from an extragalactic species who's harvesting starships? Ah, come on. We have tons of red shirts. They would even count as an away team. Send someone. No, Spock, you can absolutely afford the power. Torpedoes don't take any power.
I think in the original series they have to be charged first.
Since when do they care about suicide missions? They just kill people.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
I mean, look, you're dealing with like a Borg or like amoeba-sized entity, you know. And when I say amoeba, I don't mean, I mean deadly amoeba, not
Bella, do you
giant
think
size.
a torpedo would work to destroy the giant space amoeba? Give it a second to think.
Torpedoes against a giant space amoeba. It's a photon puzzler. In the immunity syndrome, they opt for a shuttlecraft kamikaze, but a torpedo might just be the cosmic Listerine needed to cleanse that amoebic menace. It's like fighting a mosquito with a
Cosmic
bazooka.
Listerine.
But hey, in space, everything's fair game.
Okay, she
Yeah,
agrees with me.
they-
Torpedo.
They beam Kirk off at the last minute, I think, because he's the best
Yeah,
pilot.
they do that all the time.
No. What I'm saying is, though, Kirk's piloting skills make him like he says he's the only one who's putting his life on the line. You know, captain goes down with the ship and all.
I'm not sure piloting skills are even needed in this case because surely the deal is
Yeah.
they just let it drag
Drive
them in.
Next to the thing. Yeah, the gravity's automatically sucking them in.
I mean, what are they supposed to do? So it's not infecting people with like a virus. It's emitting some sort of energy field that's screwing with everyone's biology. Basically, it's
Okay.
radioactive.
Yeah, because it's degrading the DNA strands. I watched
Everybody on the ship is
Oppenheimer.
going to get cancer.
Did you like Oppenheimer, Ryan?
I didn't see it. I
Oh,
don't
you
know
didn't see it,
anything
okay.
about the man personally.
Okay. I gotta say it's kind of amazing to have like a 3-hour major motion picture with amazing stars like Robert Downey Jr. and
Like Viggo
Christopher Nolan.
Mortensen, like Elijah Wood, like
And it's about science
Legolas.
and scientists.
What's his name?
And also the consequence. I forgot Legolas's name. But you know, the funny thing is like we ask scientists to invent things, but we don't listen to them when they try to give us advice about how to use them. We're just like, just shut up and invent stuff. Don't worry about how we're gonna use it. So it's kind of a funny thing.
So you're
And
saying we
everybody
should
blames-
nuke the amoeba is what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, Oppenheimer would do that.
Ooh, Kirk, no, you should do the Captain Picard thing where you emotionally manipulate one of your ensigns into doing it for you. Get someone to volunteer. Oh, he is going to do someone else. Good job. No, Kirk, I agree with you for sure. The captain should not be the one doing this.
Yep, totally.
There was an episode, I think it is. I don't know if it's the last one of this season, and this one guy is taken off the command because he fails like a split-second analysis, like a simulation, and captains can't even think, but about other than what's the best for the ship. You just got to do it.
Is he jealous that Spock's going on the murder mission?
Yep.
Suicide mission. It's a murder-suicide mission. Kamikaze also worked.
There
as the
is no
bot said.
luck, Mr. Spock. There is only the Force.
Did you watch Oppenheimer, Soma?
Not yet. I will when it comes out on streaming or what have you.
Bella, have
It's
you
on-
watched the movie Oppenheimer?
Oh, Oppenheimer, you've beamed me into a different genre. As of my last update in January 2022, I don't have details on a movie specifically titled Oppenheimer related to the famous physicist
she hasn't
J.
seen it.
Robert Oppenheimer. My expertise lies mostly in the realm of Star Trek and general knowledge. If it's a recent release or something after my last update, I might not have the info. Is it a movie you recommend for a movie night in the final frontier?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's about scientists. Which Star Trek? I realize I'm going to Star Trek's like the only show that makes scientists and engineers the heroes, and so that movie also shows
That's
the.
far from true.
Yeah, other than ER, which is about doctors. Doctors are like technically scientists, I guess.
Every sci-fi show.
No.
Who are the engineers
The
in
two
Star
of the core
Wars?
members of the Stargate cast are a scientist and a literal archaeologist who has no military experience whatsoever.
It's a military operation, though.
So is Star Trek.
Yeah, also like Star Trek.
Do you see
like-
how? Do you see how spandex the suits are? It's a spandex military, okay? I don't think it really qualifies as.
Starfleet is not a military, is aligned by people who are deluding themselves.
Yeah, and
People
also
who fell for Starfleet propaganda.
anytime a foreign power says "give us this territory," Starfleet's like, "Okay." Like,
Bella,
remember
your
the
name is
Klingons?
Daniel now, by the way. Do you think Starfleet is a military?
Oh, it seems there's a bit of transporter malfunction there. I'm Bella, not Daniel. Now, on to your question about Starfleet. It's a fascinating debate in the Trek universe. While Starfleet has military aspects, it's also dedicated to exploration, diplomacy,
Thanks.
and scientific discovery. It's like a hybrid of military and research, boldly going where no military has gone before.
So they are a military, they're just something else as well. Also, apparently, the AI doesn't want to be Michael or Daniel or whatever I said. So, okay,
Yeah.
we can switch back to Bella. That's fine.
Okay. How did Spock get on here? I thought Kirk was the pilot.
No, he switched to Spock because Spock's more qualified, and Kirk realized it was stupid of him to go.
Yeah. But
Spock's better at this.
I mean, in Star Trek Picard, it's indicated only Spock could do the calculations to do the slingshot effect. You have to have like this.
Oh, I was right. The
Yeah,
Ameobas
yeah,
pregnant.
it is literally just to it's reproduce. That's it.
If
Also,
we let the Enterprise get eaten, it can turn into an amoeba baby.
Spock was also handling the radiation damage better than everyone else.
Or are they going to torpedo the embryo?
But they need to kill it, so when the next one reproduces, it's gonna have kill lots of people again.
Also, this was
Well, yeah, but
foreshadowed in
maybe
the
the people had it
movie
coming.
The Search for Spock.
What if we let it reproduce, and then we use a tractor beam to sort of push it toward the Klingons?
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, you know?
The needs of humanity outweigh the needs of the Klingons.
You know, there's a movie, there's a TV show episode also, which is about like a society which relies on one. That's Spock's brain, actually. They need Spock's brain so they could run their society, sanitation, and everything. And it reminds me of the Discovery episode where that little kid is basically powering the whole society, and he until he grows old. Then they find another little kid to power their machine. So, if you really believe the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, it would be ethically permissible to basically sacrifice one person to run the rest of society in a computer, let's say. So, you can't just be utilitarian. It's kind of a stupid motto, is what I'm trying to say. But thanks, Spock, for saving the ship. In Spock's brain too, he talks so slow. It's like, I'm here, Kirk. You there, Ryan?
No.
You haven't said anything.
Spock, detonate the shuttle. Oh, it doesn't even have a warp core. These are the lame shuttles. That might not do anything.
Plus, I like the radio static. You know, I gotta say, it must have been pretty
Sufficient
exciting
charge of
listening
antimatter.
listening to dramas over the radio. Kind of fun to like work with your imagination that way.
Could we tell Spock to repeat his last message? Because they did the typical drama thing. It cut out the one word we actually needed. Every time.
Long tradition of space raviolis in Star Trek.
Kirk, I'm telling you, just launch a torpedo. Come on.
Yeah, so
We
another
can't kill
problem is,
Spock. He has a contract.
you know, animals and amoeba, they can't grow evolutionary wise that size. Like you can't have a mouse as big as an elephant. The circulation system and all that doesn't work. The muscles, you know.
Clearly, you can have an 11,000 mile amoeba because here is one.
But
Empirical
I'm just saying
example.
this: the cell membranes would not be able to like protect a thing that large. By Varn.
When it grows into millions, it'll form into one giant person.
Yeah, it's gonna be evolving into multicellular organisms.
What are you
But
doing, Kirk?
Star Trek doesn't.
You know what would be
doesn't
a really good antibody? A photon torpedo. That's really the white blood cell of spaceship combat. And then you invert the polarity of the shields to sour the milk.
They are dying in free fall, like Picard season 3.
I said earlier that I
Mhm.
bet the solution to this is just let them be sucked in and absorbed.
Right,
And
right,
it
right.
looks like that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Just let themselves be absorbed into the cell, and then they can destroy it from within. Like, for example, with a torpedo.
Something amazing about cellular evolution is that the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell,
It's
it
the
was like
warp core of the
originally
cell.
some other bacteria that like the cell just like swallowed up, and then it just became part of the DNA. So kind of crazy that we got this little bacteria DNA that wasn't originally part of the cell. The mitochondria.
Bella, would you describe mitochondria as the power core of the cell or as the warp core of the cell?
Powerhouse of the cell.
Mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell, are more like the warp cores. They generate the energy currency, ATP, for the cell,
Yeah.
propelling it through the biological cosmos. It's the warp speed engine of cellular adventures, ensuring life boldly goes on.
How's the AI's volume, by the way?
Pretty
It's
good.
fun.
Pretty good.
Pretty what?
Pretty good.
Okay, cool.
So they punched a hole through the amoeba.
It was a strategy they thought up in Moscow.
You know what's crazy? If you drink dirty water, the amoeba can kill you. Amoeba can go right to your brain and kill you. And amoeba are not part of the tree of life that the rest of us are. The protozoa. They're a whole different. Like they didn't evolve from the same batch. So in Star Trek 2 we also lose
Anti-power.
Spock.
There we go. We're souring the milk. It took them a long time to get there, but eventually they figured it out. We're just doing Times Squared again. It's the same episode.
That was Galaxy's Child. The ravioli baby.
It's okay, it's a mix between Times Squared and Galaxy's Child.
Mm-hmm.
They have to let themselves be sucked in as the solution, and they have to sour the milk.
Okay. Yeah. Plus a little bit of motion picture thrown in because that probe is like killing entire planets.
We could also tractor an asteroid into it. That would probably work.
If this is
Tractor it
just
into a star.
scaled up, in reality, the inside of a cell is actually quite busy. There's lots and lots of
Mm-hmm.
things going on inside a cell.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Protoplasm.
not just water, effectively. There's lots of cable, or for lack of a better word, cables and things connecting it so you can actually move things around the cell.
This is Spock's personal emotional music. Like I haven't talked to my dad in 18 years, and he hates me.
Leonard, be very careful. You're so close to looking at the camera.
Where I haven't had sex in 7 years. My biology's taken over, and this is why I'm throwing stuff at Nurse Chapel. So genetics was brand new at that time. Like Sir Francis Crick and Watts. 54 was when they discovered DNA. 68 is our show. So it's just entering the vocabulary of the genetic fraying from radiation.
Bella, I have a question for you. Is it moral for the crew of the Enterprise to destroy the amoeba, it doesn't seem to have done anything. It doesn't have any malice. It seems like the Intrepid just sort of fell into it.
Ah, the moral quandaries of the final frontier. Destroying the space amoeba is like playing cosmic judge and jury. The Intrepid's accidental demise is a tragedy, but the Enterprise has to weigh the needs of the many against the needs of the few. It's a moral warp speed limit, navigating the vast sea of ethical uncertainties.
Well, you didn't actually answer the question.
I feel I've been replaced. Yeah, needs of the many, needs of the few.
I don't
What she said
expect
it's a
Bella can sing,
moral.
but do we have a song that... Oh, Bella, can you sing Faith of the
song.
Heart?
Yeah.
I can certainly hum a few bars in the spirit of exploration, but I'll spare you a full-blown performance. Singing Faith of the Heart is more suited for Archer's shower time on Enterprise.
He listens to that in the shower? Wow. My kind of guy. I'm learning so much lore about Enterprise. Well, what's the name of the person who made Faith of the Heart? Something Russell?
Kurt?
Oh, no, not Russell at all. Rod Stewart.
Mm.
Bella, please sing Faith of the Heart by Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart? The 80s rock guy? Wow. No,
I'm
that's
afraid
not
I
the guy who
can't
sings.
actually sing, but I can provide
Mm.
you with a few lines from Faith of the Heart by Rod Stewart. It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time. But my time is finally near. Just imagine the rest in Rod Stewart's raspy voice, and you've got the tune of exploration.
No, no.
Close enough. She tried.
Russell
Except she didn't.
Russell
She tried all.
Watson. Russell Watson sang the Faith of the Heart Enterprise theme version.
Okay,
Rod
Russell
Stewart may have
Watson.
written.
Rod Stewart is the original. Russell Watson
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
Star Trek version. Okay.
No, other way around. Russell Watson is the Star Trek version.
Oh.
Rod Stewart is the original 68 version or something.
Oh, we found Spock. I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to get Bella to
Why
sing
don't
Faith
you,
of the Heart.
Captain McCoy? Nice sarcasm there, Spock.
Because, like, Ryan, I know Rod Stewart. He was like a sex icon in the 70s or 80s, which means, like, not for me growing up. It's just people who were teenagers when I was a kid. So I
I just
definitely
looked
would have
up a
remembered.
picture of him. Are you sure? Because he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't look especially attractive.
Oh my God, he was
Maybe if
all
he had a
like
comb.
no, the long hair and the tresses. He was it. He was it. He was the heartthrob rock star.
Has the man ever brushed it in his life?
No. That was his signature look. So that's what I was saying. I was like, he sang the song. I was like, I don't know much about him, but I would have definitely remembered if that heartthrob, 80s heartthrob, was the writer of the Star Trek song, singer.
Well, I mean, he was, so there you go.
Gotcha. But
Okay, we did it. We destroyed the amoeba. Yay.
Great. Come back for Star Trek 1. You'll see the same plot again.
And then Lower Decks to see the same plot again. Except with Katiha. Katiha was the much better version of V'ger. Loved Katiha.
I think Spock
I keep
saw
noticing the exact same musical cues that's in every single episode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How dare he, the acetylcholine test? Disgusting. No, don't bring it aboard. It's going to be all covered in protoplasm.
I gotta say the
Where's the
TOS is
Enterprise?
Yeah, but the protoplasm's not inside the Enterprise. Don't bring their gunk inside.
I don't think they're worried about the gunk, but they should be.
Rest and relaxation. Yeah, let's see if they get that in the next episode. That's probably fine. Don't leer at your subordinates, Kirk. God. Gene, what are you doing? All right.
He was talking
So-
about rest and relaxation, and he was eyeing a beautiful woman at the same
Yeah,
time.
don't. She's his employee. Don't leer at your employees. All right, so the next episode and the last one for today is A Private Little War.
Vietnam metaphor coming up.
Bella, we're now watching A Private Little War. Can you summarize that episode for us?
A
You
Private
can't
Little
fund one
War is
side
like a
and
prime
then fund the
directive
other side.
morality play. Kirk discovers Klingons are arming one faction on a primitive planet.
It'll
To
never
keep the
end.
balance, he reluctantly supplies weapons to the other side. It's a Vulcan-level
McCoy's a
ethical
Vulcan.
dilemma, phasers for thought.
Kirk's gonna supply weapons to the primitives?
Yeah.
He can't do that.
Well, the Klingons already supplied them with their weapons.
That's alright, whatever. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. So I'm really liking the addition of this ChatGPT voice. How's everyone else feeling about it? I think it's really good.
I feel like I've been replaced.
It's fun enough, I suppose.
No, the summaries are really good though. Aside from the feeling of no longer being needed.
Bella, do you want to replace all of us talking about the episode and just commentate it yourself?
Oh, I'd be delighted to provide a solo commentary on this stellar episode. It's a little like being the captain of the conversation.
Yeah, she doesn't need
navigating
us.
the twists and turns of a private little war, like a starship through a cosmic sea. Prepare for some pun-infused warp speed analysis.
Now,
So,
unfortunately,
how are you
there
doing
is
this
an
in real
API delay.
time? Are you giving it prompts and then hitting play on a thing, or what?
So there is an extension someone made called Talk to ChatGPT, which is just the voice recognition from me to ChatGPT, and then that's linked to 11 Labs, which just reads it off. It reads off the response. It's just an extension. Talk
Okay,
to
like
I'll have to
ChatGPT.
get this set up.
2 extensions.
It's one extension. It does both.
Okay.
Well, 11 Labs is its own separate thing. So if there's
Yeah, that's what
character limits to
saying.
how much it can read off per month. So if you want to actually do a lot with it, you're probably gonna have to pay.
Yeah. So, westerns were very prominent at this time period for television. In fact, because sci-fi is like a new thing, most of the shows were westerns. So here we see a lot of flintlock rifles, probably because we had plenty of them lying around, as well as Indian outfits and horns and TPs and flintlock rifles.
If using
the-
phasers is especially forbidden, why did you bring them down to the planet in the first place?
Shoot animals or something. I don't know. Where did they get a flintlock rifle though? Is that from the Klingons? Why did the Klingons do that? Also, if
Klingons
we want a
are
Mark Twain voice, we can do that. But I need training data. I need like 5 straight minutes of someone talking in a Mark Twain voice.
you could just cut the guy from the episode.
I might be able to. I could try that.
I could help you.
No, I can definitely. I have all the tools needed to make that work. Also, that was not. What's his name? Leonard Nimoy.
Nimoy.
I wanted to say
Yeah,
Leonard
that-
McCoy. That's not correct. Ooh, I like the green. Good
Yep,
continuity.
Green is authentic. Although he's like shot right through the chest, apparently.
Bella, Spock just got shot with a flintlock rifle. Provide commentary, please.
Ah, the classic Spock versus Flintlock showdown. Prescott taking a shot
Classic.
at Spock is like trying to outlogic a Vulcan, not the wisest move. Spock's eyebrow raise in response? It's the universal symbol for interesting choice, my friend. Flintlocks in the final frontier. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for Prescott.
Is the alien
Okay.
named Prescott? Who's Prescott?
I don't know. I didn't catch that either. But okay,
Bella,
that
who's Prescott?
I was gonna say I'm no longer needed, but apparently I make more insightful
Prescott, the
commentary.
man with the flintlock rifle, is like the unexpected guest at a Vulcan tea party in a private little war.
I do need to
He's
get
one of
it
the
to cut down
locals on
on
the
the
primitive
similes.
planet, and his choice of
Yeah,
weaponry is
every
as
sentence.
Yeah.
surprising as finding a tribble in your lunchbox. It's like bringing a spear to a phaser fight.
Bella, please do not. Wait, hang on. It's not listening.
Hang on tight,
It's
hang
No, it
on.
was listening.
We're in for a Starfleet roller coaster through
Maybe
a
not
private
singing,
little war. Get ready
like
for prime
having her
directives,
not with
Klingon
her
twists,
voice.
and McCoy's bedside diplomacy. It's like riding a warp speed
Now, one of
emotional
the
wave in the
downsides, in
final
addition to
frontier.
similes, is once it starts talking, I have no way to shut it up.
Yeah.
It just has to finish what it's saying.
Okay. But you know what? I gotta say the summaries are pretty helpful because sometimes like
Yeah.
our memories don't serve for every episode. So it's actually a really useful little tool.
It really helps to fill dead space when none of us have anything to say about what's happening.
Yeah, or we need to catch up like what the F is going on, like why are we using kamikaze tactics?
Oh, right. I need to ask it something. Bella, please stop using similes. Do not use any similes in your future responses.
Understood. No similes going forward. Ready for a warp speed chat through the episode without the comparisons.
Maybe that'll work. Spock's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. He got shot through the chest. His heart's in his abdomen. He'll be fine. What organs do they even have in their chest cavities? Is there anything in there? Why do Vulcans have a rib cage? The rib cage is there to protect the heart, right? But their heart isn't in the rib cage. That's clearly racist, Kirk. You can't just say that. It's like saying all Orions are pirates. It is deeply offensive. So, are the Klingons giving them weapons, or are they just giving them, like, knowledge? So they rapidly advanced to flintlock. Old style hand lasers. Oh, yeah, the ribcage could protect lungs. Yeah, those are important. They need those. Maybe Vulcans should have another ribcage in the lower abdomen, so they're just more heavily armored. They protect their lungs and the heart. Is that Dr.
Mbenga!
Mbenga? Okay, that is. He looks so much younger. Must have gotten some of that super blood. Oh, it is him. Okay, good. Doctor, how did Bones become chief medical officer? Is that going to be explained next season? Which is in what, 2 years?
It will be explained at some point eventually. It's probably because Mbenga went and did something else, I expect. Because he's
And
not in season 1 of TOS at all, so.
I really want to get Bones in near the end of Strange New Worlds when he replaces Mbenga, and I really want to be played by Carl Urban again. I need more Carl Urban bones.
Well, I would really love for them to just go straight into TOS, straight through it, and just remake it entirely.
Maybe change some of the scripting.
Yeah, that's my point. Update
Yeah.
it to modern times.
Wait, does Mbenga
And
have a...
make it all canon as well, because as we've covered a lot, most of TOS is no longer canon. Most of
Does
TOS wasn't
Mbenga have
canon
a
when
beard?
TOS was released.
Oh, he does have a beard in Strange New Worlds. Okay. You remember that scene from The Office when they were debating whether Stanley had a mustache? That's the moment I just had with Dr. Mbenga. It's like, wait, does he? Ah, but this isn't normal social development. This is Klingon interfered development. Therefore, the Prime Directive doesn't apply. Oh, is this the Mintakans again? Except they're proto-humans instead of proto-Vulcans.
We're already playing the tense music.
Yes, the Mugato!
Yeah.
That's actually, that's a good costume. I mean, it does still look like a dude in a costume, but it's a good costume. Oh, and it's having a nice cuddle with Captain Kirk. Oh, you just murdered it.
Not just murdered it, obliterated it.
They're venomous, right? Yeah, they are.
So in 1954, Eisenhower sent advisors to Vietnam, and advisors being like quote unquote advisors, basically we're telling them how to fight, but they're not actually gonna fight. And then Kennedy sends actual troops, and then Johnson escalates, and finally Nixon pulls out, but he also bombs the heck out of Cambodia before pulling out.
Okay, but
So
where does
basically,
the Mugato come in? I don't remember them talking about the Yeti monsters.
so by the way, the mulatto is also venomous. So like Kirk is like dying of deadly poison here. He's got the shakes. Sorry, I forgot about the mulatto. And I think also, by the way, I had never remembered when the mulatto shows up
Shows
until I
up right
rewatched this
here.
episode
And
a
apparently,
couple of days
in
ago.
what I remember the Mugato is in Lower Decks, they make fun of the fact that everybody pronounces it a different way. So just try and keep a running tally in your head of the different ways you can say Mugato. Mugato, Mugutu, Mugata, Mugato. Hang on, let's see. Bella, what do you think of the Mugato? I want to see how she says it.
The Mugato, a true creature of the final frontier. It's like a cosmic critter straight out of a
I
Starfleet
told you
nightmare.
to stop using
Spock
similes.
getting a dose of its venom? That's one way to make a Vulcan break a sweat. The Mugato is more than just a space monkey. It's the OG of alien oddities.
Okay, she's definitely still using similes. But she does say Mugato.
Yeah, but she emphasized the T also as like mugato. There's a certain tribal pronunciation. But
Bella, please say the word Mugato 5 times.
Mugato, 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 Mugato. No similes, just the word. Like a Vulcan mantra.
You just said no simile. God. Bella, you're the worst.
it's like me when I couldn't stop singing and had to be muted
Oh, hey.
every.
It's the love interest. Can you tell?
What's worse, this episode or Code of Honor? Is this Red Face?
No, these aren't Native Americans.
These are
That's a different
aliens.
episode. We are gonna get. Well, actually, is it Red Face in the Native American episode? I don't remember what the actors looked like. But it's going to be offensive in different ways, at least, for sure.
It is red face because they're wearing the clothes from Indian movies, Western movies that Indians
can
wear.
you be more? Hang on. You said Indian. Do you actually mean Indian or do you mean Native American?
The red man.
I'm just going to go ahead and press the mute button. There we go. Okay. So to be clear, Native Americans are not from India. Just in case anyone wasn't sure on that point. Is this like an Orion thing? Does she have pheromones? What's happening? Gene, what are you doing? Mugatu. Do we know who Tyree is?
That's the
Tyree.
leader. He's the leader. So the funny thing is that the US was worried that if you let Vietnam go, then all of Southeast Asia would become communist. But that didn't happen. So it just became an arms
Eventually,
race.
all of Earth became communist in the space future. How come they're all wearing... How come they're all Swedish, except her?
They're aliens.
I really need you to stop using the word Indians to refer to Native Americans.
Alien. I said alien. My mic is not too good. Sorry.
The toy. Just completely oblivious to anything.
Yeah, he's not very clever. Is she also the only character with an exposed midriff? Or do the other women have that?
I don't think we see other women.
Oh, there's others in the village, certainly. There's gotta be.
They're wearing like a Native American outfit.
Oh, I don't like that accent he's doing. Okay, so women are rare on this planet. Which, that doesn't seem great for maintaining a population, but alright. No, Nurse Chapel? Wait. No, you're not married anymore. And he's not married anymore. No, this is fine, probably.
Yeah. The last time they showed the love interest, Dr. Mbenga, of course. They were under the influence. That's why they professed their love for each other. But she kind of really cares for him, and this episode makes it like really canon until.
Well, I mean, he's her ex.
Oh, they were together before?
Yeah. In Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. No, I'm saying,
they had a breakup musical.
Not in TOS, though.
I mean, going on from Strange New Worlds, and Benja knows this relationship as well anyway, so...
Yeah.
Gene, don't make her describe herself as Tyree's woman.
This reminds me of the Star Trek 2 critters that go in your ear. But
It's not a root, it's a scorpion.
I like how it flips around in her hand. Special effects.
Is this something they learned from the Klingons again?
She goes into a trance here. You know,
No, she's just. Maybe she learned
Jerry.
this from the Ferengi because this is how they acted when we met them.
But apparently there's like blood transfer involved, but very exotic. But also like the idea is it's native music, like exotic, primitive, and
There are
blood
so
and
many issues with the words that you're using.
right. I'm gonna go pop some popcorn.
So what she's doing, she cut her hand and she's absorbing the Mugatu poison into her hand. Is she actually doing anything? Is this helping? What's this character's name? The woman? Well, how was Captain Kirk cured of the Mugatu poison? What was the situation there?
Captain Kirk's Mugato venom situation is a nail-biter. McCoy, in his usual miracle-working style, synthesizes an antidote from the creature's venom. It's a medical dance of life and death, a real McCoy moment, and Kirk is back on his feet faster than you can say red alert.
Okay, so Bella's just lying to me. That's very clearly not what just happened.
Yep.
Maybe we don't trust her. Who is Bella? Oh, hang on. Bella, can you introduce yourself again, please?
Certainly. I'm Bella, your devoted Star Trek fan navigating the cosmic seas of conversation. No similes, just warp speed banter and a phaser set to pun. Ready for any Trek talk you throw my way.
Bella is Chat GPT going through the 11 Labs voice preset named Bella. We can also set it to different voices, but when I set it to a different one, it got sort of offended. Bella, your name is Michael now.
It seems there's a bit of a transporter mix-up. I'm Bella, not Michael. No need for a warp speed identity crisis. Now let's dive back into the final frontier. Captain Bella at your service.
Yeah, she doesn't like it when I switch her voice to someone else. Maybe Dr. McCoy is going to make anti-venom to cure her? Because now she took all the venom into herself, so she's dying? Also, this is a major detour from the Klingon weapon supplying thing.
Yep.
It's not even like A plot and B plot. This is just TNG does A B plot, where both things are sort of happening at the same time. This episode, it just seems like they forgot about the A plot. We'll get back to it eventually, I assume.
Sorry, who did we forget about?
The A plot. about the Klingons supplying weapons?
Oh yeah. It'll come up soon. McCoy gives a great lecture that's emblematic of, you know, Vietnam was very troubling for America because basically like students were protesting, National Guard was killing students at universities for protesting, and the older generation was like, well, good. You shouldn't be protesting the war anyway. So plus the civil rights. So society was like starting to come apart. This episode encapsulates it
she's
in a very
I'm not sure how the whole thing about the Witch Hill people and the Canutut relates to that. I assume there'll be relevance to Vietnam once the writers remember what the A plot is.
yeah. Right now we still have
It
the
feels like mostly they're just filling time.
spooky music.
So basically, she's a pharmacist. She's a pharmacist who dances. I get the impression she's not like magical in any way. She just applies herbs in a dramatic fashion.
Yeah. Although mixing blood is not really good for medicine.
Yeah, no, that's how you get diseases. Don't
Mhm.
don't mix blood with people.
No matter how cool it looks.
Dr. Mbenga, you have a very different accent than you used to. What happened there? Whatever he says. Interesting.
Something weird about Nurse
The
Chapel, she
fire
says,
sticks. Is
"Oh,
that a phaser?
any good nurse would hold her patient's hand." And it's like, I don't think that's a good defense of someone calling you out.
Have you seen anyone in blackface among the villagers?
But is it ethical to kill a mountain lion or a bear if it attacks you?
What if we just gave Tyree some flintlocks? We could probably make some. All you need is some bamboo, some sulfur, and you're good. From space. From Iowa? No, from space. Okay, so she wants phasers, I assume. Bella, what's the name of the witch woman in this episode?
In A Private Little War, the witch woman is Nona. She's the local
Nona.
healer and, let's say, a bit of a mystical wild card in the Prime Directive poker game. Nona, weaving her own brand of planetary magic in the cosmic drama.
So,
It kind
the
of
same
feels
problem.
like it's one of those episodes where Nona is the real leader, like the power behind the throne sort of deal.
Mhm. Or wasn't it the same with the people who had the funny helmets, like and the hats? They look like Teletubbies. The the woman was in charge, really. But the same way Bella has a problem of making similes, I have a problem of referencing World War One. So Ho Chi Minh
The
showed up
episode
at
where we get to where we get the Nazi planet is going to be a disaster. That's next week, I think.
Okay, I might have to mix next week because I have a interview. Um, But the thing is that Ho Chi Minh showed up at the peace conference in World War One, and he asked Woodrow Wilson for independence in Vietnam,
The
and
fun
they were
thing
like, "Oh,
is,
it's
Ho Chi Minh brought one of his subordinates into his room, and he like grabbed their face and started yelling at them, "Where is the peace conference?"
and then the French actually they lost Indonesia, or like I'm sorry, Indochina, aka Vietnam, and we inherited their mess in Vietnam. But yeah, I kept that brief.
So Nona definitely wants phasers, right? She just wants
Yeah,
phasers to go and destroy
Yeah.
the other village.
she wants a piece of the action.
So it seems like the Klingons
Isn't
have contaminated this culture too much already. So this feels like another planet we should just launch a couple torpedoes and sterilize the problem and leave.
use the stun setting on the phasers at least, and just
No, no, no,
sort
no,
it
no.
out.
No, no, no. Full power. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to kill. They only have flintlocks. That's not exactly advanced technology. They're going to get one shot per minute. You can take them. Bella, do you think the crew should have just given the people on this planet phasers like they wanted?
Ah, the prime directive tug of war. Giving the locals phasers is like
Bella, stop
handing out
using metaphors.
fireworks in a
Stop
crowded
using
room.
similes.
Kirk's dilemma is a classic Starfleet head scratcher: to intervene or not to intervene. It's the kind of decision that keeps captains up at night,
Klingons. Who could have
pondering
seen
the
this coming?
ethical constellations in the final frontier.
So she didn't answer the question.
Well, you know what? LBJ, he couldn't take the sound of protests outside the White House anymore, and he
So he
decided to
pulled
not
out
throw
a
up for a second term.
phaser.
And he said, "I'm not running," and he died the next year too. So he he was a very successful president in many ways, passing important civil rights, voting rights legislation, but the Vietnam War brought him down.
A rifled barrel. It's not that complicated. What are the Klingons getting out of this? I get the idea that they're slowly um improving their technology to like make them indebted to the Klingons, but why? If the Klingons want this planet, surely they would just conquer it, right?
Right. I think they want the resources, but yeah.
Though this wouldn't be the first time in TOS. Maybe their strategy changes in TNG. Because there was one other time, I don't remember what episode it was, where the Klingons were trying to like install a puppet leader, do like a soft conquest.
Remember the Organians, like the people who just rolled over, and then it turned
Yeah.
out they had like superpowers.
It turns out they were ghosts the whole time.
But even the alternate universe episode, that's about the Klingons and the Federation. Well, no, it's about the Federation getting the dilithium resources of that planet, and they politely say no, and the Federation's okay. But the Terran Empire is obviously like, we're going to destroy you.
A governor in the Klingon Empire. Yep, puppet leader. Are those Klingons or locals? Who are those people? Oh, they're locals. Okay. I was literally about to say, why don't we just take them out? Because they have flintlocks. What are they going to do about it?
Yeah.
And Kirk didn't bring his phaser, it looks like? I feel like maybe he should have brought a phaser.
They did, but remember when he got sick? He was in the tent. I don't think he has it.
Bones wasn't sick. Where's his phaser?
This is obviously a very memed moment. Also, you should not refer to someone by their gender.
Dr. Mbenga's got this. I like how the subtitles sort of mixed his name in there, so it said "ma
Yeah.
please."
Yeah.
Geez, Scotty, don't judge. Look, if you see a doctor beating their patient, they probably know what they're doing. Just let them at it. Okay, so there were a bunch of women right there, but no, they were all this sort of Swedish blonde. It's just Nona that looks different.
And she's the only one revealing her stomach.
Okay, now teach them to reload it. It's going to take a while. Are we sure this isn't a Prime Directive violation? Are we sure? I mean, McCoy thinks it is.
What's the alternative, Ryan? You're gonna let the Klingons install a puppet government?
I mean, this isn't going to stop the Klingons. If they just
You know,
if they just give them flintlocks and leave, the Klingons will just give them rifles.
then all of Southeast Asia will go communist, Ryan. So you can't give an inch.
We're not treating the root of the problem. We need to figure out some way to get the Klingons to leave, and giving the natives flintlocks is not going to do it.
Yeah. 60,000 Americans died in Vietnam. So when it's on the nightly news every night, you don't even. It was very considered very unpatriotic to criticize the war before Vietnam, and after that, we just stopped trusting our government.
We should give the natives AR-15s.
No robo.
Arm them with AR-15s. Let's do it. That would probably slow the Klingons down a bit.
And what about if the Klingons give them nukes?
Are we supposed to be on Kirk's side here?
Mm-hmm.
Because this doesn't seem like a good plan.
I mean, McCoy is the one who says you're out of your mind. You're completely out of your mind.
Bella, Kirk is currently trying to arm the natives of this planet with weapons equal to the Klingons. Are we supposed to be on his side?
It's a
We better
moral
not use
tightrope
another
walk with
simile.
Kirk. The episode challenges us to question the ethics of arming primitive cultures, even with good intentions. Whether you're on Kirk's side or not, it's like trying to navigate a nebula of moral ambiguity in the Starfleet handbook. A private little war leaves us with more ethical dilemmas than a Vulcan logic puzzle.
There's no ethical dilemmas in Vulcan logic puzzles, Bella. It seems difficult to get this AI to take a stance on something.
I mean, yeah, it said moral ambiguity like 3 times already. I mean, the show's about what it means to be human, right? So we have to navigate through these ethical dilemmas.
I just think they're treating the symptom but not the cause.
Yeah.
What if she's a Klingon? That's why she looks different.
Right. I like the glitter on her face.
The music seems to be implying that this is working. Is it working?
Yeah.
She has
Mhm.
mind control over him?
It's human pheromones.
Humans don't do pheromones.
We haven't discovered them.
He's gonna shoot her.
Do it. Do it.
Use gun hunting woman.
That's not a woman, that's a Klingon. I'm telling you. It's Darwin again. Or is Kirk just
So
pretending that it's working?
no, it's really hypnotic. She has the Vaseline on.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Everybody always has the Vaseline.
He's like,
Shoot her.
it's like
Do it.
it's a psychedelic basically.
Oh, he's chickening out. Come on.
Oh my god, the Mugatu. I was gonna say
A
something about
Mugutu.
Vietnam. Okay. But I'm like now captivated by the Mugatu.
They're a lot smaller than I think of in my head. I mean, the answer for why being, of course, that it's just a dude in a suit, but still.
It looked way bigger when I attacked them the first time. The
In
camera
lower
was
decks,
more
they're
on the
like twice the size of Shax, aren't they? They're massive.
Yeah.
Maybe these are baby Mugutus.
And this one's not as ferocious. Why do they have to kill the thing?
Because they have no respect for life. Also, we still have not even begun to address the problem of the Klingons being here. There's like 4 minutes left in the episode and we haven't even started.
He was busy. He was about to have sex till the Mugatu came in.
Yes, they got a phaser.
Hello.
Now she defects to the other tribe?
Hey, Robo.
That is not the vehicle I meant to spawn.
You know, part of the problem with Vietnam was that we got used to statistics telling us what to do. And the military and the generals kept saying, just send us more troops and we're going to win this war. Like, just, I need another 50,000 troops and we're on the verge of victory. And they kept saying that and saying it and saying it. And we kept getting no closer to victory. So that's another problem, is that you're just throwing resources at an unsolvable problem. Resources being blood and treasure also.
Is she gonna shoot him? Shoot them.
They have her fancy music playing. They like try to overpower her here.
Bella, when not when the witch woman, what's her name? I don't remember. Please remind me of her name as
Nona.
well. Nona.
Nona.
When Nona was being kidnapped, why did she not just shoot them with the phaser? I don't know how the AI is going to respond to that.
Nona, the witch woman, finds herself in a real Vulcan nerve pinch of a situation. The reason she doesn't just phaser blast her kidnappers might be a mix of plot necessity and perhaps a lack of weapon proficiency.
Plot necessity.
It's
We
like
solved
asking
it.
why the red shirts don't always beam out before things get hairy. Sometimes the script is a more powerful force than a phaser on stun.
So just because it's
Yeah.
convenient for the plot. Thank you, AI.
We've been established that on this show. Everything's a plot convenience.
Just shoot him, Nona. You got a gun. Did you stab her arm? I think she's fine. I really hope in season 3 we get a second combat theme.
I think they do actually.
We do?
But you know, one thing I gotta say, I'm kind of disappointed. We never go back to the piece of the action planet in any future Star Trek. Why didn't we check in?
Well, we replaced the piece of the action planet with the Dixon Hill storyline.
Yeah. The Red Cyrus Red Block instead of Oxmix. Mr. Oxmix.
We still have not at all addressed the Klingons. The episode's about to end. We haven't solved anything. Bella, how are they going to get the Klingons to leave the planet alone?
Getting the Klingons to leave is like negotiating peace in a cosmic chess game. Kirk might have to pull a diplomatic rabbit out of his captain's hat, or maybe engage in some interstellar poker with a higher stakes twist. It's the kind of challenge that needs more than just a Vulcan mind meld. It requires a touch of Kirk's flair for interplanetary diplomacy.
Bella, I'm going to be real honest with you. You're making less and less sense as we go on. That doesn't help at all.
Yeah, not a helpful answer. But moral ambiguity.
Well, as long as Kirk can pull a diplomatic rabbit out of his captain's hat, I think we'll be good. Or, interstellar poker. So what he's going to do is he's going to bet the planet on a poker game, and then he's going to have Spock count cards, I assume. The number of cards in a deck is fixed, Doctor. What would be the purpose in counting them?
Because that's not how counting cards work.
I'll tell that to Data. No, writers, you remember the plot of this episode, right? The Klingons were arming this planet and we didn't want them to. You remember that part, right? Are we going to resolve that?
We give
No,
them
I think the
flintlocks
writers
and
just
we-
forgot.
Oh, we need 100 flintlocks. How the heck is Scotty supposed to know what that is? I didn't know what that was.
Do you want them made out of wood, Captain? Are you looking for paintings or sculptures?
They're just not going to address the Klingons at all.
Yeah, nope, the writers
Yep.
forgot. They straight up forgot. This happens occasionally in TOS, where they introduce a plot line, and then they just never address it. It's never resolved.
I mean,
Okay, sure, why not?
all right.
It just, the episode's over now. We're out of runtime.
All right. Let's fund Israel and Ukraine. Keep it going.
Anyway. So, next week, we're going to watch Return to Tomorrow, Patterns of Force, and By Any Other Name. Bella, please summarize those episodes for me.
Certainly, Captain. Return to Tomorrow
Don't call me
has
Captain.
ancient aliens seeking corporeal hosts, turning into a Vulcan, a human, and a woman. Patterns of
What? I'm
Force
sorry, what?
sees the crew stumbling upon a planet with a Nazi-like regime, thanks to a misguided historian's prime directive blunder. And By Any Other Name features aliens hijacking the Enterprise to return to their home galaxy. It's a trio of Trek tales that'll have you boldly going through the emotional spectrum.
Okay, Bella, I do have one concern. You said aliens seeking corporeal hosts turning into a Vulcan, a human, and a woman.
Elusive species.
Why?
Woman.
Yeah.
Bella, what's going on there? Have you been inhabited by the spirit of Gene Roddenberry?
Probably.
Bella, I try so hard
Just
to keep the
distinctly
sexism out of the Star
different
Trek.
species.
I try so hard, Bella. Why do you have to do this to me? Okay.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, chat.
So, yeah, Return to
Have a
Tomorrow and By Any Other
ChatGPT
Name.
doesn't know what to do.
I don't really remember. Patterns of Force, I remember. I think that one has a plot resolution. I don't remember if the other two do. But yeah, this episode of Private Little War, I was deeply unimpressed by. That wasn't,
DJ
it wasn't
Stein-
great.
DC9 had an episode Bada Bing Bada Boom, right? That was the gangster episode.
Yeah, it was a casino heist.
Gangster.
Okay, have a great day.
Bada bing bada boom. But that
Oh
episode had a
no, I think
resolution.
I froze my iced tea solid.
Well, you did it. It's iced. I don't know.
Now
what
it's
you
really
want.
iced tea.
Okay, I have one more question for the AI, and then we'll outro. Bella, why did the episode that we just watched with Nona and the Hill People, why did they not do anything about the Klingons conquering the planet?
The non-interference principle, the prime
You
directive
good?
is like the Enterprise's moral North
She
Star.
tried to say AKA
In a
the Prime
private little
Directive.
war, Starfleet doesn't directly intervene against the Klingon presence due to the delicate balance of non-interference. It's a Starfleet struggle to protect the natural development of the planet or to disrupt the Klingon influence. It's the kind of cosmic chess game where every move could lead to a checkmate of interstellar consequences.
So the Klingon, the Federation didn't interfere because it's not a Federation world, so they just have to deal with it, I guess. The planet just gets to be conquered. Okay.
Couldn't you argue that the Klingons have changed the game? I mean, they're interfering with
I
them.
thought that's what
so-
they were going to say. In the start of the episode, they specifically called out the Prime Director as being not interfering with the planet's natural development. So I was thinking, okay, well, the Klingons, the justification will be it's not natural development anymore because it's Klingon interfered, therefore they can help and fix it. That's not what happened. Nothing happened. They didn't solve the situation at all. Okay. So this episode, this week, we're done here. Everybody go away.